10 times of experience and 100 times of thought are different. Experience fosters insight, and makes a difference in thought. Knowing various methods does not mean that you can immediately derive the correct answer. If you have no experience, you should prepare for time to go through trial and error in advance. In the dimly lit room, John sat alone, surrounded by the fading embers of his youthful dreams. He was in his early 30s, but life had worn him down, and his once bright ambitions had dimmed into a flickering candle of resignation. He was one of the countless souls who had been told that winning first place was the key to success, but the cruel reality of adulthood had taught him otherwise. As John gazed at the stack of unpaid bills on his cluttered desk, he couldn't help but recall his college years. He had been an idealistic young man back then, driven by a vision of changing the world. He had won accolades for his brilliant ideas and soaring speeches. But now, a decade later, those victories seemed distant and meaningless. He remembered the professor who had once praised his potential, saying, "You'll go far, John. Your thoughts are 100 times more profound than your peers." Yet, as the weight of his student loans bore down on him, he realized that profound thoughts alone were nothing but empty words. John's generation had been told that they were special, that their thoughts and ideas could change the course of history. But as he looked around at his disillusioned friends, he saw a sea of wasted potential. They had all believed in the promise of greatness, but the world had not lived up to its end of the bargain. In those bitter moments of reflection, John realized that knowing 100 different ways to solve a problem meant nothing when you couldn't even secure a stable job. He had spent countless hours analyzing the world's issues, discussing theories with his peers, and dreaming of grand solutions. But the harsh reality was that no one was interested in his theories, and his dreams had turned into unpaid internships and freelance gigs that barely paid the rent. The guy who won first place in the college debate club had gone on to become a barista, serving lattes to people who barely noticed his existence. The guy who had once been told that he had 100 times the intellect of others now found himself struggling to make ends meet. But as John sat there, drowning in his bitter regrets, a spark of determination ignited within him. He realized that he couldn't let the disappointments of his 20s define the rest of his life. He may have been beaten down, but he still had a fire in his heart, a desire to prove that he could overcome the odds. With newfound resolve, John decided to channel his intellectual prowess and knowledge into action. He understood that the road to success was not paved with just thoughts and theories. It required grit, resilience, and a willingness to endure failure. He started applying for jobs, even the ones he thought were beneath him. He took on freelance projects, built a portfolio, and networked relentlessly. Years passed, and John's journey was far from glamorous. There were countless rejections, sleepless nights, and moments when he questioned his decisions. But he persevered because he had learned that 10 times of experience were indeed different from 100 times of thought. Eventually, through sheer determination and hard work, John carved a path for himself. He may not have changed the world, but he had changed his own destiny. He had gone from being a disillusioned dreamer to a resilient doer, proving that sometimes, it's the relentless pursuit of experience that leads to success, even in a world that doesn't always keep its promises. And as he looked back at the dimly lit room where he had once wallowed in despair, John realized that the guy who won first place had indeed gone on, not to bask in glory, but to fight, to strive, and to become a testament to the power of 10 times of experience over 100 times of thought.